A year ago, when we staged the first event to honor integrity in public communication, you'd have to say that coming off the election, we were really in a state of shock and awe at what was happening in society and how it was affecting the disciplines in public communications, many of us represented in this room. And I think looking back, as historians will, I'm sure we will conclude that it was certainly a wake-up call, that period of time. The only problem is we can't turn the damn alarm off. With each day there's an additional revelation that just underscores a great change in this whole area of communication and continuing to upset the public. Over the past year, while conditions have not improved as much as we would want, we have seen a great reckoning taking place across society and within the communications disciplines that we all represent: journalism, public relations, business management, communications, business leadership groups. Many of our great corporations have come to recognize that the truth about who they are is probably best demonstrated through purpose-driven strategies. Despite what your reader says, Alan. Together with a focus on values-based decision-making and behavior that is monitored to be consistent with the responsibilities that companies have stated they have to their stakeholders, there's a great deal of work going on devoted to the restoration of public trust. Communications agencies, many represented in the room tonight, have strengthened their ethical practice codes, and media companies are pledging to work harder to separate fact from opinion in their reporting. I don't mean to suggest that we've achieved a turnaround. The erosion of public trust that was documented recently by the Edelman Trust Barometer and elsewhere points to a very, very serious decline in public distrust in sources of information, and we face many, many years to work back to achieve a recovery. Much has been written and said about fake news and the overabundance of hyperbole in public discourse and how this has contributed to the erosion of public trust. One very interesting study released recently by the Rand Corporation points to the growing disregard for facts, data, and analysis in both political and civil discourse. They call it truth decay. Great title. But what the public hears less about in the current environment are the many journalists, public relations practitioners, business, marketing, advertising, executives who do work diligently to uphold the very highest ethical and professional standards in the course of doing their jobs, of communicating with the public. And that's what tonight is all about. That's why we established this event last year. The selection of our honorees involves a very rigorous process, starting with nominations from the advisory board, who you met earlier, and then case studies developed at the Page Center. Our goal is to honor individuals who have demonstrated the highest ethical standards and professional integrity, and to celebrate their achievements as iconic examples for all to emulate. We have 3 such individuals tonight. Each one will be introduced by a member of our advisory board. Marilyn McDonald will come up in a minute to introduce Bill George. Gary Sheffer will recall the memory of Gwen Ifill, and Tom Martin will then introduce John Oneda. So to begin, please welcome Marilyn McDonald.